Mathuratana Tayasa. May I pay homage to Triple Zam, the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. My respect goes to my parents and my teachers. Good evening, everyone. So this is the Wednesday, the 7th of April 2021, and this is Ajahn Sujan from Varapunya Meditation Center, Aberdeen, Scotland. Hello, Margaret. Good evening. Hello, hi, and everyone. So today is a little bit of a quieter from the wind. We have a less wind today, and the weather seems going to be getting better and better. Weather always change, so does our emotions and our feelings. Good evening, David. So today again, this morning, early morning, 6 o'clock, I was teaching, and after that again teaching to the Kankal and in Thailand. A few people turn up for offering the lunch today. So a little bit of busy day. Good evening, Emma. Some says that busy is good and others says is not. And it reflects me when I wrote a book on meditation. I remember that there were a few people talking about, every day going to work and complaining that they didn't have time for themselves. And meanwhile, there are a few that not having a job, and they were feeling miserable. And nowadays, again, this is the moment. Plenty of people lost their job. Excuse me. And many of them are now looking for the job as the coronavirus seems to be getting better. And everyone feels that there is no coronavirus at all. No. And despite the fact that people are again going through this difficult time, and this is the moment that we need to be very mindful and careful. As this morning when I was teaching, we were contemplating on the word suffering, on which again we have been talking and discussing on particular this topic, dukkha or suffering, probably 2 weeks now, 2 or 3 weeks, and it's still not ended yet. And in there is a particular word which categorizes the word dukkha, and which again, that's why the translation for the dukkha is not sufficient to translate it as suffering. And as a result of that, sometimes people do translate in different forms, like dissatisfaction or suffering in general is now widely accepted, the word translation for the dukkha. And within that dukkha, suffering Buddha was talking about so many different types of suffering. And among them, in that 12 or 11 or 12 different types of suffering, it comes with three very related to current situation. The first one is saying that appiyehi sampayoko dukkho, which means association with something you dislike is suffering. And here, association with something, someone who you dislike brings suffering. Mentally feel very traumatized, or mentally you feel very agitated. Mentally you feel very angry, and so on. And it's very easy to try to find the faults on others, that because of them, because of that, you are in trouble. And this appiyehi sampayoko dukkho, the association with association with disliked people, again even more suffering that we can see. I don't have to give. I believe that I don't have to bring this any examples of how terrible if someone is living with someone who dislike. There are a few video clips that I have watched that a man was abusing and taking control over a girl. And a girl was asking for help from the staffs in the restaurant or in the vet hospital, vet clinics. And in this we can see that how difficult their life and miserable their life would be if they have to stay with someone who dislike, and even more so one who is controlling. And the second one is piyehi vipayoko dukkho. Separation from loved one is again another counterpart for the association with the dislike. And this is a separation from loved one is pretty much very difficult subject, in which we can see that there are plenty of people who feel very sad and sorrow and lamenting on it. There was one lady, and she lost her husband due to the cancer, and she couldn't cope with that loss, because they've been living for so many years together. I think it was about 30 years of living together, and suddenly he got the cancer and died. And she couldn't cope with that. I happen to know both of them, and I had a chance to go and speak with him before his death. And I had a lovely chat, lovely discussion. This is in Aberdeen, and whenever we had discussions, he was like pretty much calm and collected, and was happy. And the one thing that worries him was that his wife would not be able to deal after he leaves. And which appears correct. When he passed away, she couldn't cope with her partner's or her husband's loss. And it happened that it grew one after another. It grew so much, and eventually she took a refuge on alcohol. And after she has taken refuge in alcohol, and it's even worse. And it's very sad, and very sad that how she went into that traumatized state. And that's simply because the disassociation with a loved one, or a separation from the loved one. And and when I was young, there were some stories that people were taking suicide or taking their lives, particularly young age, young people. And that's again because of a broken heart. And it's quite interesting that after that they were simply taking their lives, and they think that the loved one, separation from loved one, is very difficult and unable to cope with that. So that's the second one. And the third one is Yampi chang nalabhati tampi dukkha. So that means whatever one desires, not attaining as one desires, is suffering. And there are so many things that we desire, and not attaining that brings suffering. And again, only desiring to attain is not enough. There are so many things we would like to have. We don't want to get old. We don't want to get sick. We don't want to be having this sorrow and lamentation, pain, grief, and despairs. But these are inevitable, that we will have to face it in our lives. Because everything we are is simply conditioned, and we have is simply conditioned. And as a result for that, it's inevitable that we will not be facing those. And yet, we will always have this desire that I should have not experienced this. I should not have this experienced that. And that's quite an interesting one. And as a result, people finding very miserable and difficult to cope with their lives as they see getting old, like seeing like my wrinkles and getting bigger. See, especially when I smile or laugh, I see all my wrinkles, and people used to ask me that, "How old are you, Chan? You have so many wrinkles." And I do not use any lotions, put anything on my skin, so it appears little bit of old anyway. Like that. So we don't want to get old, and we always want to be healthy, and we always want to be handsome and young at all the time. So this is our desire, and we don't want to die. We don't want to feel any sorrow and grief and lamentation and things. But these are the part and parcel as we born in this life. And it's a matter of how we're going to deal with that. The moment when we accept that these are there, these are inevitable, that we have to experience it, whether we like it or not. It's not just like a you or a single person is experiencing it. Every one of us have to experience these. Only matter is, some people can't deal with it and many people can. And that is the reason why we plenty of people or examples experience of the suffering and so-called mental well-being, ill mental well-being, ill health. And that's all simply not able to cope with these situations. But the moment when you able to understand that these are just a part and a parcel in our lives, then we will be able to deal with that much easier, much easier. Right? And once we have fully understood in that way, what happens is that we will have the awareness of things, what we do, what we're going on, what's happening. And with that awareness, what happens is that we will have a clear understanding of things. And when we have this clear understanding of the things, then that's the right view. And as we know that to understand these situations, it's not easy, and to overcome from those situations even harder. I think I have told you the stories that when my mother passed away after 1 year passing of my dad, and then I came back to Aberdeen after spending time doing all the rituals in Nepal, and came back. And at that time I had to write a few reports, assignments to the university, and I couldn't concentrate. Somehow my eyes were simply bubbling with the tears, and as a result of that, I even had to go and discuss with the so-called counselings. So, me as a monk, me as a person who has been practicing meditation, when these situations came, I even needed some support from outside too. So don't be shy if you need support. Just find a way and just get some supports so that you can heal yourself, so that you can overcome yourself. Do not keep to yourself. Do not suffer yourself. And if you just accept that this is what you're having, and this is simply the cause of because you lost your loved ones, then, or you are having this mentally unstable mind because you are associating or you are living with someone who you dislike, just speak out, accepting those things, that I am having this, I'm going through this. And then after you have accepted, after you have realized that you need some support, you need some help, then do not think that when you are asking for support and asking for help, you will be looked down, or you will be what is it called? Forgot the word now. Don't feel shame. Don't feel that it's not worthy. Just speak out. And this week I've been talking about this mental health so much, and all that I'm saying is that just speak it out and tell, ask. There's always some support. There's always a way out. All what we need is to ask. There is an English saying as well that if you don't ask, you will not get it. And asking doesn't harm anything. Well, after you have asked, there's only happening is two things. One, they will give you. Two, they don't give you. And if they give you, then you are lucky. And we feel gratitude to them because they are happy to give. And if you don't, then again still, you feel gratitude, that thank you. So now I know whom to go. It's like I used to think about people borrowing money from their friends and their families, and then when they give you to borrow their money, you will be happy. But the moment when they do not give you, then you feel very unhappy and you feel very angry at them. Oh, you're so rich and you have got so much money and you have got so many things. I'm asking only for few. only a few hundreds or a few £1,000 to have a support so I can carry on with my life, and you didn't want to give, and so on. You will be creating negativities. But what we have to remember that money belongs to them. You have a right to ask, and they have a right to reject or give. So we shouldn't be disappointed by after you have asked something support from them, whether it's about the money or whether it's about any supports, any help. You can ask, but do not expect. So similar way, whenever you're going through these situations, then do not keep to yourself. Ask. Asking won't harm anybody. Okay? Asking won't harm anybody. All what you need is to speak out, and help is there. At least, even you can't find the help or nobody can help you, at least you have expressed. You have walked the path. It's like you have spent time to find the solution, and there won't be any regrets over it. It reminds me a story that during the time that when a Buddha was perfecting his perfections in his previous lives, before he became the Buddha, one of his lives when he was swimming, he was crossing the sea for the business, and suddenly somehow because of the heavy wind, this ship was cracked and broken, and with that he used his knowledge and intelligence. He ate a lot of food and jumped on the vast ocean and swimming, hoping to find the shore. And the story says that the sea angel came up and asked him that, why are you swimming? It's so vast and you do not see even the shore. By the time when you are swimming, you will be dead. And this, the Buddha, to be the Bodhisattva, and in that life, said that I know that I don't see the sea, and I don't see the shore, I don't see the dry land, but I will try my best. I will be swimming until I will die, so that in the future generations, when they think about me, they will think that he didn't give up. He continued effortlessly. He was swimming, and with that, I have no regrets over my own conduct. And having heard that, this sea angel picks him up and then taken to the dry land. So likewise, in our life, whenever there is this situation comes, we just need to speak it out. And then we will not be disappointed and regret that we haven't done that things, and we won't be needing to feel disappointed to ourselves. All the matter is ask. Don't be shy. And this is, I picked up this story, this topic today because there are a few members who came to talk to me about their loss and how difficult their life is after they have lost their loved ones. And here, it is not just the loved ones that when we lost, we feel very traumatized and bereaved and feeling very disorientated and miserable. It is also that when we are with someone who we dislike and you still have to live together, also similar consequences too. And all what we need is to express, to ask for the help, and with that asking, and certainly you will find the solution, and you will find the way to help you out. That's why it's all up to us, individual, to open up rather than closed, rather than imprisoning yourself into your own thoughts, imprisoning yourself in your own speculations and all your perceptions. Just open up, come out from it. Thinking is not what is the solution. It's about expression. It's about feeling of it, and that helps you to find a solution. So, and again, you can find your family members, your good friends, or your good neighbors who can listen. And meanwhile, if you are in a position that you realize someone is going through that such a difficult time, just give your ears, give your time, and even just a telephone or just a simple message and just simple, maybe no, just a card, making them feel warm. Oh, there is someone who cares. That's why this is the message that I would like to extend today, that in our center, that's why I use the motto, helping hands, healing hearts. So we come together helping one another so that we can heal one another's heart whenever we are facing in difficult times. So if you need any support, any helps, don't worry. Just let us know. Let me know. I won't bite you. Especially in the evening, we don't eat anything, so don't worry. Okay? Just tell me, and we will try our best. I am here to listen and help you. Okay? So with this, I end here for tonight's talk, and may you all be well and happy. In a few moments' time, we're going to have an evening chanting and guided meditation. You're most welcome to join with us. Until then, good night, and may the Buddha Dhamma Sangha bless you. May you all be well and happy. See you shortly. Satu.